Coach, and then questions?
Yeah, I think you gotta give a lot of credit to Wisconsin. I mean, I think they really stepped up their defensive intensity, their defensive pressure, and really forced us out of our comfort zone after we got off to, excuse me, such a hot start. You know, that's what a team that's used to winning does. It's a disciplined team. So, you know, a tribute to them. You know, we told our team this, the reason we play a game like this is illuminates who we are, both good and bad, you know, and I think for the first 10, 12, whatever minutes a game, we showed what we're capable of. And then the second half, we showed how much growth we need to have to be able to defend, to be able to rebound, to be able to keep our composure when you're playing on the road, hostile environment, bigger, more physical team. So, you know, we're a young team, and that youthful exuberance showed up in a good way early and bit us in the rear end, you know, in a bigger way, you know, in the second half. And it's a learning moment for us.
Michael, right up front here, Coach.
They didn't always lead to steals, but the way that Wisconsin was getting deflections as they picked up the intensity, how did that impact the way that you guys were trying to establish your offense?
Yeah, it really impacted us. And again, you're talking about, you know, 2 freshman guards in the starting lineup for us, 2 other sophomores. And, you know, we just cannot replicate that kind of pressure in our own practices. And so when we were able to operate our offense in a comfort zone early in the game, you know, we got great looks. I think also that hurt us is like we got in foul trouble. And so we really, that, you know, kind of impacted our ability where maybe we could have extended that lead a little bit more in the first half, you know, maybe stop some of the runs. Caleb Kenny, you know, lost a tooth in there. And so that kind of exposed even more, you know, our lack of, you know, front court size. So, but I think their pressure really bothered us, and we were running things from, you know, further and further out. We didn't make the reads that we had practiced in terms of, you know, backdoors and curls and things like that. But again, we just can't replicate that kind of physicality and length in our practice.
Ben, right over here, Coach.
Maybe with the season opener and then having so many new guys, what was the challenge of the scouting report to figure out how to attack these guys, and how did that vary from what you actually saw tonight?
Well, so we, as part of our contract, we exchanged our 2 scrimmages with, you know, so we saw their 2, you know, their exhibition and their scrimmage, and they saw ours. So, you know, we had a decent feel. You know, I'm sure Coach Gard will come in and say that this, you know, that Wisconsin team that the last, whatever, 30 minutes or whatever it was, defended, I'm sure the way that, you know, Coach Gard wants them to defend, that I don't think necessarily is how they defended against River Falls, you know. So, you know, obviously, you know, the message that Coach Gard had got through and registered, much to my chagrin. But, you know, that, I think that's the big thing. We knew their talent. Obviously, Tanjay didn't shoot the ball well against River Falls, but we knew, you know, what a good addition he is. So it was more for us, our ability offensively to come unglued, you know, to get unattached from them, and then allow them to get out in transition. And then obviously we're really worried about them on the glass.
Nick, right in front here.
Coach, you mentioned John Tanjay, obviously somebody that's played a lot of college basketball. Just what stood out a little bit about kind of his, you know, creating ability for himself and others a little bit? And just, is that something that you expected from what you'd seen in the scout?
Yes, it was. You know, he was, I think he was super aggressive in their 2 preseason contests. You know, he was more efficient today, but without knowing the young man, you know, it seems like he's got a pretty unshakable level of confidence, which is what you need to have to be a really, really good player. And I think, again, without knowing the ins and outs of their team, you know, he just gives them that kind of dynamic scoring presence that I think, you know, they need. You know, and I think Blackwell played a good game, and obviously he's, you know, stepping into a much larger role. So I think those guys together, I think, you know, showed what they're capable of for the Wisconsin team.
Any more questions for Coach? Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.